The city of New Hope is taking action after a group home racked up more than 60 police calls in the last year. Police records show on one of the calls, a resident threatened a police officer with a fire poker. On another call, when a staff member asked a resident to turn down music, the residents threatened to stab that staff member with a screwdriver. The property is located in the 3800 block of Boone Avenue North. It's one of 65 group homes in the city of New Hope. The property manager told the council that they are in a tough spot because they cannot evict a problem resident due to state mandates.
I cannot kick a vulnerable out of the facility just because of this holiday conduct. And I feel like this is putting me in a tough spot where I can no longer call the police. Even if a crisis is happening, I'm afraid.
The state is failing these people, and there needs to be a better job done.
The city council did vote to revoke the permit. The resolution will come back before the council in November before the matter is final. An effort is underway in Brooklyn Park to recruit more women to the police force. Out of the 100 officers currently on staff in Brooklyn Park, only 13 of them are female. That's in line with the national average, but the administration wants to do better to reflect the city's population. The department has made a 30 by 30 pledge, meaning that they want a staff consisting of 30% female officers by the year 2030. Brooklyn Park is hosting an event called Wonder Women on November 8th, aimed at recruiting females to this non-traditional career.
We're inviting young women to come and experience what it means to be a police officer. So they get to spend a day with police officers, ultimately learning what are our physical standards, what does the job look like, go over to Hennepin Tech and use their simulation lab. So maybe you can even experience what it means to kind of get into a little bit of a confrontation with somebody.
The Wonder Women event is open to all young ladies between the ages of 14 to 18. To register, we have a link on our website, ccxmedia.org. New crime numbers released this week by the city of Plymouth show overall that crime has gone down in the city this year. Reporter Sonia Goins spoke with the police chief to find out why.
Plymouth city officials said that they've received several calls from residents who are concerned about the rising crime rate. The police chief is hoping new data will help to ease some of those concerns.
The year isn't over with yet, but overall crime is trending down in Plymouth. According to Plymouth Police, there were 186 burglaries last year, compared to 125 so far this year. And homicides remain the same, 2 last year and 2 this year. However, robberies, including carjackings, are up this year. There were 4 last year and 7 to date this year.
We're just not seeing a huge rise, but it's not to say that even a couple of them aren't a big concern for us. So as a department, we're taking steps to work and partner with other agencies and detectives so that we're sharing information.
Chief Fadden says although crime is relatively down, now is not the time for residents to let their guards down.
When they see something suspicious, call us.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
It was another step forward on Tuesday night in the process to demolish the Four Seasons Mall. On Tuesday night, the Plymouth City Council voted to accept a bid to demolish the mall. A bid of $850,000 was accepted to remove the building and parking lot and seed the site. Demolition work is expected to start in December. There are plans for 2 apartment buildings, an office building, retail, and a park and ride here. The city purchased the vacant mall from Walmart for nearly $7 million last year. It's been vacant for more than a decade. Just in time for Halloween, here's a ghost story for you. The people who work in Salon Halo in Robbinsdale say their shop is haunted, and they've had several run-in with ghosts in the last 8 years. Photojournalist Dustin Scholl brings us a story of a ghost that's more mischievous than menacing.
We discovered Charlie 5 years ago. I think it became solidified that we do have a ghost. I always felt there was something weird and couldn't really define it. How we discovered Charlie was that we had our holiday party and we invited a local psychic to come. So we were all back here and the psychic came through and I was standing right here and she beeline and said, "Oh no, we're not done," and just said, "Okay, he's right here," and He doesn't appreciate that you guys are here all the time, and so he indicates when it's time to go. And he does by turning off the music. Every single day at 6 o'clock it happens. So it's him, because electronics and everything are running exactly as they should. This is a pretty big item, and that will just fall off. He'll like flip the garbage lid. This is flown off, that's why it's cracked a couple of times. If he does throw a fit, does a tiny spooky thing, then we just tell him, like, Charlie, snap out of it. I knew something was here. I did validate it. You can take it for what it is, but he's not angry or volatile or anything like that. He's just our resident ghost.
And our photojournalist experienced Charlie the Ghost too. As soon as he finished recording, the music mysteriously shut off. Wednesday was a long time coming for some elementary school students. For the first time in 2 years since before the pandemic, dads and special persons were invited to come inside the building at Lakeview Elementary in Robbinsdale for the annual Donuts with Dad. Guests could have donuts and coffee and then read and play games with their students.
We have a huge turnout today. It's going to be great. It's good to see some of the parents that I saw 4 years ago that's been at the school. Their kids are fifth graders now. So it's just great to see people.
Hy-Vee donated the donuts for the special day.
Seven teams from the CCX viewing area reached the state soccer tournament. Jason Malillo has highlights of the Maple Grove boys quarterfinal game.
It's Maple Grove facing Rochester Mayo in the Class 3A state quarterfinals. Early first half, Grove's Chris Franz has a little space and time to operate and strikes a shot far post for the goal. Crimson up 1-0. Kaimani Shatulangama looking for the equalizer for the Spartans, but his shot is fought off by MG goalie Holden Waldrum. In the second half, Mayo's Calvin Grothy with a prime opportunity, but he chips the shot wide. Crimson retain their lead, and they make it stand up all the way, winning 1-0 to advance to the state semifinals. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
The Wayzata boys are the top seed in Class 3A. They faced a Lake Conference rival in the quarterfinals.
The Wayzata boys soccer team faces St. Michael Albertville for a third time this season in the Class 3A quarterfinals. Wayzata is awarded a penalty kick and Joe Highfield makes it count, burying the left-footed shot with 9 minutes left in the first half. It's 1-0 Trojans at halftime. Early in the second, Miles Redman working one-on-one, and he unleashes a great shot, hitting the net to give Wayzata a 2-0 advantage. Midway through the half, Kieran Mahan adds another as Wayzata wins 3-0 to advance to the semifinals at US Bank Stadium.
The Wayzata girls were the #1 seed in 3A, but ran into a tough opponent in the quarterfinals. John Jacobson has more.
Wayzata girls soccer team unbeaten and ranked #1 in Class 3A, facing Moundsview in the state quarterfinals. Big match for Moundsview goalie Lauren McAlpine. She comes up with a huge save on Grace Espy's penalty kick to keep the match scoreless. Later in the first half, the Mustang Sophia Ullman crosses the ball to the front of the Trojans net where it deflects in for a goal. Number 28, Yasmin Abed, gets credit for the goal. It's 1-0 Moundsview at halftime. The Trojans tied early in the second half. Anna Warnicki chips the ball toward the Mustangs' net. Amaya Conway slams it in with her shot, and it's 1-1. Under 11 minutes to play now. Espy passes to Lily Nyer, whose shot is off McAlpine's hand and in. Wayzata's in front for the first time. It's 2-1 Trojans. Moundsview, though, ties it late. On the free kick, it's Emily Johnson with a perfect shot just under the crossbar and in. Johnson's marker makes it 2-2. This match goes to overtime and eventually to penalty kicks, and that's where Moundsview's Amelia Gregory ends it on the 6th attempt. The Mustangs win the shootout 2-1 and the match 3-2. Wayzata finishes its season with a 17-1-1 record. John Jacobson, CCX Sports.
The football playoffs also started Tuesday for a few local teams, including Providence Academy. John Jacobson has the highlights.
Providence Academy football at home against Glencoe Silver Lake in the Section 2-3A quarterfinals. Early second quarter, a 4th and 2 from their own 40. Lions wide receiver Nick Toma from the Wildcat formation not only picks up the first down, but a lot more. He takes this one 60 yards all the way down to the Panthers' 2-yard line. On the next play from scrimmage, the toss goes to Stormy Knight, who gets in from 2 yards out, and the Lions extend their lead. It's 10-0. Glencoe Silver Lake comes right back. On their next drive, quarterback Landon Stifter airs the pass out to Sawyer Kazmarek. He hauls it in, and after breaking one tackle, is all alone on his way to scoring an 82-yard touchdown. It's a 10-6 game. Providence answers on its next drive. Eddie DeSantos with a quick pass to Matthew Bluford, and the senior works his way to the end zone. A 25-yard scoring play as the Lions lead 17-6 at halftime. The Panthers score in the second half to pull within 17-14, but late in the fourth quarter, the Lions put the game away on Knight's second touchdown run of the game. Providence Academy wins 24-14. The Lions play at second-seeded Watertown Mayor on Saturday afternoon. John Jacobson, CCX Sports.